What is going on, guys? Today I'm going to be giving you my quick first impressions review of the brand new map within Call of Duty Vanguard Zombies, which is called the Archon. So I had a lot of gameplay for this map saved of the entire Easter egg with the boss fight and everything, and the gameplay files got corrupted, so I only have some footage right now, so I do not have boss fight footage to show in this particular video, but I'm obviously going to be doing other videos later on where I will be able to showcase the boss fight, and I'm going to do a full review with the boss and everything like that, and it's going to be a really solid, type of video that I usually do with my reviews for maps, but this is just a first impressions thing, and I just want to kind of talk about the map, how I feel about it so far, because I have a lot of thoughts. So first things first, this map is really interesting because it's kind of split up between one part of it being really, really great, and the other part of it being just boring and bland. And that would be the Easter egg and the boss fight being actually really great, but then the map itself, everything else about the map, is kind of just boring and bland. And for me, you know me, the Easter eggs are the most important thing to me. I care mostly about the main quest. I just want a really, really fun and challenging, but not, annoyingly tedious. I want it to be challenging in a fun way, sort of an Easter egg quest, with steps that aren't too obvious, so when you try to complete it for the first time, you actually have something to hunt for, and even doing it on repeated attempts, you kind of feel like it's different every time, so you're not just doing the same exact things, and there's plenty of puzzles, there's action steps, there's everything, and then it all accumulates with a solid boss fight. And I do think this map provides that actually very well. I think this is a very solid Easter egg quest. I would go as far as to say one of the best since like Black Ops 3, and I'm not exaggerating when I say that. I think I like this Easter egg more than most Cold War Easter eggs. I'd have to think about it more, but honestly, I might like this Easter egg more than any Cold War Easter egg, which is kind of crazy. I definitely like it more than any other Vanguard Easter egg, that's 100% certain. Because, like I said, it has some fun steps to it that are actually kind of challenging, but not annoying. Like, the first time doing it, yeah, when you don't really know what you're doing, it's kind of difficult because you have no idea what you're doing. You're just kind of guessing and randomly doing things. But after I was able to do it a second time, which I did do it twice today, the second time I did it, which was on solo, I knew what to do, so I was kind of able to just run through it. And yes, there was challenges to it. I failed a couple steps, but you just redo it the next round. It's not that big of a deal. It's not an Easter egg that like punishes you and just lets you die for failing, but it's one that makes you take a little bit longer if you are constantly failing, so you're rewarded for not failing and for actually getting it done, so you can get the Easter egg done a lot quicker. And like I said, I'm going to go way more in depth in my full review with each of the individual steps and how much I enjoy each of the steps, but they're all pretty fun. Some of them were buggy at first, but when I started to learn of the best ways of doing it, it's not that big of a deal. There's one step where you have to throw Molotovs at these torches, and the torches were really buggy. You kept missing, and it was just really annoying, but then I learned if you just throw the thing at the bottom of the torch, then it's not a problem, and it'll light the torch pretty much every time. So that's really good. And then the boss fight, I think, is one of the best boss fights we've had in a long time, and I would argue it's probably within like the top maybe 5 or 10 boss fights of all time. Maybe, I don't know, it's really a damn good boss fight. It has 3 stages, and they take a decently long time. This is not a quick boss fight, which is exactly how I like it. I despise those boss fights that you can get through in the matter of like a minute. Like something like the Firebase Z boss fight. The fact that you can literally kill that boss within literally less than a minute if you really tried, that is just ridiculous to me. Even 3 minutes is just not long enough. This boss fight, however, takes more than 15 minutes, depending on how fast you are, but I really don't think it's going to take anyone shorter than 15 minutes just for this one boss fight. It's probably possible, but for me, I think I took about 20 minutes my second time doing it. First time, I think it took us like 35 minutes to do it, which is just because we didn't know exactly what we were doing. Once you know, obviously, it's going to be a little quicker, but it still takes a lot of time, and it's not that he's a bullet sponge. He has a lot of health, of course, but it's not like you're just constantly shooting at a bullet sponge because that would be very boring. No, you're having a bunch of phases. You have different things you have to do, and then you have to start throwing these corrupted like orb thingies at these different rocks, and then it does all these different things, and there's certain stages where he sends zombies at you, and there's a lot of stuff that there's involved in this boss fight. It's not nearly as intricate and interesting and creative as Mephistopheles, obviously, and there's a lot of other boss fights I definitely would say I like more than this, but this is definitely still one of the best ones. But then you go beyond that and you look at the rest of the map. Oh my god, is it boring. There's like nothing to do, and I mean that's consistent with every Vanguard map really, but this one just feels extra boring. Like I just don't have any interest looking at this map. It has a boring location. We've already seen it in Terra Maldicta, so that's already a negative that we've already literally seen this location, but even then, the location in and of itself is not interesting. Like at least Shinonuma, we didn't see the full Shinonuma when we played Duran Fong, so we had some new areas, but Terra Maldicta is literally it's the same as the Archon. Like it's literally the same map in terms of the location, the same areas. It just has this green tint. That's it. That's the only difference. I think when everyone saw the images of this map, we were assuming maybe there'd be some new areas or it'd be different layout or something, but it's literally the exact same. So it doesn't feel very interesting the first time playing it. You kind of just like, I've been here before and there's nothing new. The perks are even in the same exact spots, I believe. Like it's literally that similar. You might as well just call this a better version of Terra Maldicta, a round-based version of Terra Maldicta, I guess, with an Easter egg that's actually good, because Terra Maldicta's Easter egg was terrible. There's also no new wonder weapon, which is really upsetting. Not even like a returning wonder weapon or anything. There's nothing new to Vanguard. There's no new boss zombies either. There's like nothing new to this map. It is probably one of the least innovative maps I've ever seen. The boss fight in Easter egg is so good. It really is, in my opinion. That's holding this map up so high. But, I mean, the rest of the map just feels so meh. And we know why it is. Because Treyarch did not have the time and resources to do that. They put a lot of those time and resources into the boss fight, obviously. I think they probably put their entire budget into that damn boss fight. It's a really, really damn good boss fight. But then the rest of the map is just like they didn't do anything. And I almost feel like it might have been worth it to dumb down the boss fight a little bit so you can make the map better. But then that would have been upsetting because then obviously the boss fight wouldn't be as good. But so it's kind of like hard to say, right? It's hard to say where they should have put their money towards or if they should have just done it how they did it. I don't know. I mean, at least Vanguard can say it has one of the best boss fights of all time. And otherwise, maybe they wouldn't have that. And at least this, I guess, gives Vanguard recognitions for something. You know, like they put a lot towards that and not a lot towards the other thing. They could have made it half and half, but if you made it half and half, maybe that one thing that they put a lot towards wouldn't be as special. Therefore, the game wouldn't feel as special. Because I do think this one boss fight is enough for Vanguard to be considered a decent zombies game, like in my opinion. Like I don't think it's terrible because of this boss fight. And I think Shinonuma was decent too. Like I always said Shinonuma was fine. I don't really mind it. I really despise the other two maps. I just think these two round-based experiences, they're not that bad. They're just kind of bland and boring. There's just not a lot to do on them. And like I said, they're not very innovative. It doesn't really feel like we're progressing in terms of zombies and what it's trying to do for the series. It's not doing much, you know? But the inclusion of this boss fight and the inclusion of this Easter egg, it's really solid. It's a really solid Easter egg. It's a really solid boss fight. So, first impressions of this map, I'm enjoying it. I'm probably not going to play much more of it after I, do the full review and such, but I don't know. Maybe there's going to be more side quests. They'll find out, but for now, there's really not much to the map. There's an Easter egg song, and it's literally just a remix version of the Easter egg song from Dr. Toten, which I think it's a good song. It's just, again, not very innovative to just see a remix version of another song we've already seen. And yeah. The gameplay elements, I mean, the layout's not that special. I don't think Terra Maldicta's layout's that interesting of a layout. And yeah, that's literally all I have to say. So let me know your guys' thoughts on the Archon in the comment section below. I will see you guys in the next one. Peace out.